Back to the Factor Uncensored. From loud guests, violence, and much more, even so-called sex parties. Those are just a few of the complaints about short-term rentals. Then there are some who say they are absolutely fine, no problems at all. Mayor John Whitmire recently announced plans to enforce much more stricter rules for those properties. But would that actually solve issues of crime and sexual overindulgence? I don't know if anything can deal with that. That's at regular people's houses. That's at home ownership. Joining us to talk about this, real estate expert Jay Bradley and the chair of the Houston Association of Realtors, Thomas Mouton. Glad to have you here on the Factor Uncensored. When you see the city of Houston approaching the issue of short-term rentals, do you have any concerns with your organization? Absolutely. I mean, anything that affects the community affects us all. So, I'm definitely a proponent against short-term rentals. I think that ship has sailed. You always have people out there that's going to always find a loophole in the system. And I think this intended purpose was great. But I think now that everyone just has an objective out there that's just not conducive to the community. And so when we think about individuals who say, I bought my house or this investment property to do as I will, what do you say to those individuals who say, I am supposed to have the opportunity if I want a short-term rental, if I want to sell it, if I want to rent it out long-term? I think in a perfect world that makes sense, right? But I think what we're seeing time and time again, that it's bleeding outside of those walls and it's merging into other people's properties and into the street and into the communities. And I think anytime that affects anything outside that personal home, then it affects the community, and people should have a right to protect their home. They live there. They have the right to protect their kids and their families. They don't know who's coming and going. They don't know the background of these people. So I think they have a right to complain and be concerned about it. All right, Jay, your perspective on this. When we talk about short-term rentals and the impact it has on the community or the country, because many cities around the country are cracking down saying, look, it's time out for this. We have individuals who are coming into our communities, doing damage, creating violence, and this is not what we signed up for as homeowners.
First of all, I'm against Diddy doing his freak-offs in Houston. You know what I'm saying? But I think people should have the right, if you've bought a property, Isaiah, and let's say you want to go and move into your dream house and you want to make your current home an investment property. But instead of doing it the traditional route of a 12-month rental or a long-term rental, you decide, you know what, it's going to be more profitable for me to do a short-term rental, right? Your intentions are good as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and you're making that house a business for you to add to your kid's college fund or your Corvette fund or whatever that may be. You have a right to do that as a property owner. You're paying taxes on that property just like the next man, but at the end of the day, you have a different route of making money on your house. Just like you could long-term rent it, you should be able to short-term rental it. Now, do I say
devil's advocate on my part here, what if your short-term rental, your investment property is wreaking havoc on a community, on a neighborhood, and they're just pissed off? They're like, what's going on?
I don't think the intention of any of these short-term rental entrepreneurs is what I'll call them. I don't think that their intention by any means is to wreak havoc on their neighborhood. A lot of times they've lived in this exact house and they love, Bob and Sue that live next door and then the kids that live next door to there. And so they don't want Diddy coming in and having his freak offs there by any means. But at the end of the day, that's the part where they have to manage and look at maybe some of the things that the mayor is actually trying to put in place, as far as maybe there's a certain amount of noise complaints that are allowed, or if the police get called out multiple times, then there are certain restrictions and go from there. But if I'm going under foreclosure in my house and I find that this is a way for me to actually escape foreclosure, I should have the right to do that.
And almost out of time, really quick, does this tie up homes that maybe first-time home buyers could get, or those who are looking to buy a home for the first time, if people are using all of these properties for short-term rentals? Absolutely. I mean, inventories are short right now, and you have a lot of people that just not ready to come out of these current low interest rates to go into a higher rate. So, with that being said, you are taking a segment of first-time home buyers out of the market. So I think people should be a little bit more conscious of that. All right. We want to thank you both for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Of course, we will see what will happen here in the city of Houston when it comes to short-term rentals.